This is Salem, Massachusetts. Nothing ever happened here of interest, so let's just go. Okay. Boringville. Ah, wow, that was over rather fast. Looks like we have some time to fill in. Let me talk about... In 1692, Atlantis was said to be a great city-state, with people descended from the gods. Whoa, okay, this looks way too controversial. Let me just stop it here for a second, go into the audio options and change the narration filter. Well, I don't want my own voice put to this. Let me just click here. This is a good program, by the way. Change the voice. This guy.
In 1692, Atlantic City was filled with Nazis. My ex-wife was a Nazi. It's why I killed her for. Got a bruise on my arm from it. Lost a leg. Lost a Cadillac. Found my wife dead. My wife's life insurance. In my caddy. Here she is now. The best way to murder your wife is to talk a lot about it in YouTube web zone. So people think you're joking. I need to milk my cat. Who wants pizza rolls? Who wants pizza rolls?
Okay, he didn't work out. How about this thing? Dalek.
Atlantis was an empire that needed to be exterminated.
Okay, this guy's always trustable.
In 1692, Atlantis was said to have been a great city-state, ruled by a race of men supposedly descended from the gods. For Plato had written of a great and wonderful empire. They had conquered almost all of Africa, he reported, and more than half of Europe. Art historians have often attempted to trace the plundering that occurred during the Atlantean occupation of Western Europe. Countless hundreds of millions of dollars in paintings and sculpture adorned the walls of the Nazi Museum in Atlantis. Here is Atlantis. Here is the fabled world. The school is restricted to children of IQs over 140. Nevertheless, they are taught to be well-rounded individuals. Teachers strongly encourage their students to be intimately in touch with the world around them. Discussions range from topics such as airship travel, the French Revolution, expressions of fundamental Nazi philosophy, to the preservation of wildlife.
Animals, okay, what else?
At 16's, Eleanor Thimbleby. Despite her harried schedule, she has been able to finish high school a year early. Nearby, the increasing militancy of the Nazi government of Atlantis.
The inhabitants of that lonely island undertook what is perhaps one of the most amazing engineering projects of ancient time.
A great circular tower stands 21 feet high. Atlantean military defenses that are remarkable for their period.
Often, as we pursue our studies of ancient civilizations, we're tantalized by discoveries that don't seem to fit our comfortable notions about the past. Some of these discoveries suggest that early man knew a great deal more about flight than we once thought possible.
No evidence remains of how the engineering feat was accomplished. Eleanor Thimbleby, the ultimate sex goddess. Who was this product of Atlantis?
Found my way down
1692, Eleanor Thimbleby, demonstrating flying machine for the Army. Eleanor Thimbleby fled, carrying the technology and culture of Atlantis. Plato may have explained it when he said the people of Atlantis were warned of impending disaster, and they fled. Eleanor Thimbleby, perhaps the most remarkable record of the exodus from Atlantis. Did she escape, as persistent rumors claim? There occurred violent earthquakes and floods, and in a single day and night of misfortune, the island of Atlantis disappeared in the depths of the sea.
The reason why the fire started has been a source of controversy to this day. Was it accident or sabotage?
Case in point, Eleanor Thimbleby. Earlier, Eleanor Thimbleby's anti-Nazi sentiments had brought her into disfavor with the right. None could imagine the devastation that was to follow.
Why would she treat us so thoughtlessly?
In an instant, the city was obliterated. Eleanor lost most of her family in the explosion.
She's leaving home, bye-bye.
The weather on the journey across was splendid. Against incredible odds, she is the first woman to have flown the Atlantic Ocean to America all alone. Eleanor Thimbleby catch a glimpse of North America. Gusty winds and rain made an immediate landing impossible. She turned west to ride the storm before reaching her final resting place, over a foggy Ravenwood, West Virginia. Ravenwood, West Virginia. Eleanor Thimbleby crashed here. She went down, however, with appalling swiftness. 18 minutes in some accounts, 21 minutes in others.
When it started getting wet, a tiny ship was tossed.
Eleanor Thimbleby jumped from the airship over dense forest by parachute. Far from home, Eleanor could not have landed in a more inhospitable place. The landscape is laced with bogs and thickets. It was also an eerie place. There were few signs of life. Ravenwood, West Virginia. The dark, forbidding region, cloaked in suspicion and terror. Here, according to popular myth, live the undead, the dreaded vampires who thrive on human blood. Chilling images of the living dead. Under the shroud of darkness, the fiendish apparition risen from its coffin begins to stalk its human prey. There's the black cape, the jutting canine teeth, the demonic eyes and nocturnal lust for blood. The nightmare becomes reality. The unknown clutches at Eleanor's throat. Thimbleby managed to escape. Eleanor Thimbleby and the rusty bike fled to the opposite end of the country. Salem, Massachusetts. The witchcraft hysteria of 1692 actually began here. The woman calls herself a witch. This rite of witchcraft is being practiced in Salem, Massachusetts. More than 400 women practice the black arts of sorcery, Salem Witches. Eleanor rides up the center of Old Salem. She enters the adjoining Crow's Haven saloon. It has become a popular gathering place for those who claim to be witches. There, she met Laurie Chase. Laurie Chase, handsome, intelligent, and cynical. Eleanor invited him to dinner. The meal was elegantly served, and the conversation was friendly. He courts the beautiful Eleanor Thimbleby. Laurie Chase was a lawyer, writer, gentleman, and Laurie's daughter, Jody, is an actively practicing witch. But in 1692, witchcraft was a capital offense.
We are a nation founded in laws, but sometimes our system of justice doesn't live up to its highest ideals.
Case in point, in the streets of Salem, Massachusetts, angry demonstrators demanded immediate change. Salem was controlled by a governor who left the daily affairs of state to 3 inquisitors. For them, Laurie Chase meant trouble. There were his mystic activities and his scandals with the wives of 3 inquisitors. He was escorted to Salem's Gallows Hill. This was not a social invitation. Nearly all of the witches were hung here, on Salem's Gallows Hill. The jury reaches its verdict, Laurie Chase to be put to death. Eleanor Thimbleby make a final public appearance. She begins to chant a tale about a war between the kingdom of Atlantis and the Egyptians. Her story bears the epic ring of heroic battles and great conquests. And in a battle that rumbled like the quaking of the earth, slew every man, woman, and child. The war ended in the tragic death of more than 1,000 Atlanteans. The problem is clear. Free witches, but without trial, and for unspecified crimes, Eleanor Thimbleby was hung up.
She always seems so happy in a crowd, whose eyes can be so bright and so proud. No one's allowed to see them when they cry.
On Salem's Gallows Hill, Eleanor sights a ship in the Atlantic, off the Massachusetts coast. Could it be the ship of Atlantis? A painful prospect for Eleanor Thimbleby, who sabotaged Atlantis. It appears to have surfaced. A single Atlantean U-boat was active in the calm waters. It was commanded by Marilyn Monroe. The fateful meeting was about to take place. I'm Leonard Nimoy, to be
Continued. This is a free trial of the Audio Soundtrack Pro plugin. To experience more of my voice, send $25 to Atlantic City, New Jersey, for a bottle.